guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Iana and you're hanging out with the Potted Couple. Today I thought that we could just have a plant talk and just discuss some of the things that are going on in the plant community lately, and just have a heart-to-heart and have a deep conversation. So today I thought we would talk about rare plants versus uncommon plants and just have a discussion. You know, if you guys want to leave comments or your opinions in the comment section, that would be great, just to get a dialogue going to see if we can create some awareness in the plant community. So again, I did take notes, so if you see me looking down, I'm just referencing to my notes just so that I don't miss any points or anything, and that I can try to make this very informative. So I wanted to create this video because lately I've been seeing that plant prices have skyrocketed. I don't know if this year was just a year for plants, or there was just a lot of people becoming interested in plants due to social media such as Instagram and YouTube. But a lot of people have been entering the plant community and the demand of plants has definitely increased. Alright, Sage wants to say hi. Have your moment. Sorry about that. So anyways, like I was saying, the plant prices lately has skyrocketed, and especially since being in quarantine and people buying more plants, I noticed it has increased exponentially. So I just wanted to talk about how these plant prices have gone up, and lately how people have felt the need to have to have these plants so their collection will be on the same level as other people's, or just to be as cool as other people's. So background, I've been collecting plants for about 3 years now, and when I first started collecting plants, I definitely did not have any rare or uncommon plants. I started out with my first plant was like a Fittonia and a Dumb King, which I definitely do not own now, and I could talk about those in another video. But I only recently started collecting plants, rare, more uncommon plants this year and last year, and that was once I was more able to care for these plants. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to define the words rare and uncommon. So according to vocabulary.com and some other sources, the term rare is an object that's not many of its kind, or doesn't happen often, or it's not widely known. And the definition of uncommon is not possessed often, or not owned by everyone, or shared in the community. Just for those references. So this is why I like to use the term uncommon over the term rare, because if you use the definition rare, these plants, they're not rare, because as you can see them on Instagram, you see them on YouTube. A lot of plant sellers sell these plants, and some people even find these plants in their areas, depending on where you live. So by the definition, these plants are widely known because we see them, we want them, most people want to have them in their collection. So we see them. We know they're there, and we see them on YouTube when people do all these rare plant unboxings, rare this, rare that, rare plant haul, rare plant unboxing, plants that you need to have. And we definitely see them on Instagram when you're scrolling through people's feeds, or just scrolling on the main feed like you do when you're crazy about plants. And we see these plants and we're like, oh, we need that in our collection, we have to have it. So that's why the demand has increased, because of social media and seeing these plants, on a given basis in people's collection. And then, so since the demand is higher, people see that, oh, these plants are selling, people want them, let me see if I can charge more. People start to charge more, and they say, well, the price is there because there's labor going into them, there's love and care into cultivating these plants. But really, does the love and care justify you increasing the price 3 times what you got it for? No. And most of these plants are being imported, so the person who got the plant probably paid like $60, $70, and then they're flipping it and selling it for $300-$400. And then they're importing these plants from places like Indonesia and Ecuador, where these plants are so common in these areas. Most of them are grown in these people's backyards, and they're seen as weeds. And sometimes in these areas, those plants are sold for $10 to $20. But most people don't know that. And then I feel like other people use these scare tactics. Oh, don't buy from overseas. Don't take the chance, because when you take the risk, the plants come dead. They either get lost in customs, or the plant won't make it, and so they keep you from buying these plants, taking the chance, and probably saving money. And they'll tell you, oh, it's better if you just buy locally, if you buy within your area, that way you can support local sellers. But these people are selling these plants sometimes for a really high price. They tell you it's safer. But like other countries, like European countries, they sell some of our plants for 10 to 20 British pounds. And this is even seen, like if you just look up Jimmy's channel from Legends of Monstera, he has a video that shows the discrepancy between plant prices here and in the European countries. But people don't know this. So it's like, why do you think these sellers buy these plants from overseas? They import all these plants and then they flip them and sell it to us, because they're making such a huge profit by inflating the price. And it's a shame, because the consumer pays the price because they have to have these plants. They're trying to keep up with the Joneses, but really the Joneses is gonna make you broke, because you feel like you need to have these plants to have a cool collection. And then there's also the fact that sometimes people that you see on YouTube and Instagram, they get these plants for free. Sometimes sellers will send plants to them, whether it's overseas or someone on Etsy, and they send them to the influencer in return for a review, just so when you see it, you'll go to their website and buy those plants. So it's just a shame, because people go into this hobby and they're buying these plants and even knowing that they can't afford it, or then they decide that because they bought the plant, they're going to decide to automatically just start selling plants just to make their money back, or to make their money back and even more. But then that's when you get people who are selling on Instagram and selling all these no cuttings or unrooted cuttings and wet sticks on eBay. So I'm not like talking about like legit sellers like a Steve Leaves or like a NSC Tropical. I'm talking about people who like sell random cuttings or no cuttings on like Etsy or like eBay, and they're selling like a 2-leaf cutting for like $100. They're selling a no cutting for $100+, a plant for $200, $300, $400, $500. Like, come on, that's a lot of money for a plant. And then if you keep doing this over and over, trying to build your collection, that money adds up, and it adds up very quickly. It adds up very quickly. And to be honest, this plant hobby, even if you make it a hobby or a lifestyle, it can automatically be expensive. It can be expensive or cheap as you want to make it, but it can be really expensive depending on the size of your collection, the type of plants you want to collect, the materials like the pots. Even when you buy cheap pots like terracotta, that stuff adds up. When you buy like the soil, the composition of the soil, how many materials you put into it, and fertilizer and etc. You get the point. Like, it can be expensive. So it just sucks when you see a plant that it's on your wish list or you really like it, and it costs you your kidney or your left lung to get it. It's sad, and sometimes it's downright disgusting to see how some of these plants go for a couple of thousands of dollars. Like, you wouldn't believe it, but you can look it up. Like, obliquas go for $3,000 plus. So I like to use the term uncommon rather than rare. I think the term rare is overused. People use the term rare to get more views on YouTube. They use the term rare to get more likes on Instagram. Sellers use the term rare all the time to justify selling plants for a higher price, or auctioning off plants for a higher price. But if you look back at the definition, these plants aren't rare because they're available. You can get them, honestly, if you want to. You can go online and buy these plants. They're available. The thing is, they're just expensive. And they're expensive because people are greedy when it comes down to it. I'd rather use the term uncommon because these plants are not really shared by everyone, because everyone can't afford them at these prices. So they're not rare, they're uncommon. They're there, but we can't afford them because of how much they cost. But in the end, I'm not here to tell you how you spend your money, how much you want to spend on that plant. At the end of the day, it's your life. You know, if you want to buy that plant and you can afford to, throw a couple $100s out for it, then by all means. The only thing I want to say is that we don't need to have these plants. We can admire them in other people's collection. For instance, I love monsteras. I have monsteras almost all on this wall here. It's my favorite genus of all time are monsteras. However, you will not see me putting out $100, $200, $300 plus for a Monstera albo. You will not see me shell out $3,000 plus for a Monstera obliqua. I can't afford it. I don't want to afford it. I have that money, but it looks better in my bank account than it does sitting in the plant pot. And what if that plant dies? What if I get a Monstera obliqua, 2-leaf, and one leaf dies, then the other leaf dies? I'm out $3,000. I don't want to put all my stock in one plant. That is just heartbreaking. I would be heartbroken if that plant just were to die. I wouldn't even know what to do, to be honest. But it's not my budget. My budget, like I said in most videos, is $65, maybe $70. And that would to be getting the philodendron serpents, which I talk about all the time. But I'm not here to plant shame anybody. I'm not here to, money shame people. If you want to spend that money, go ahead. I'm just letting you know that you don't have to. There's other ways that you can get these plants. Yes, in the past I've spent over $100. And yes, it hurt my wallet. My wallet cried. Yes, it died on me because I didn't have the proper care and anthuriums. And yes, I felt foolish for spending that money and essentially wasting it because I didn't know how to care for the plant and it died. But at the end of the day, it's your own decision. To each is your own. I'm just here to say that you don't have to spend so much money on plants to have a nice collection. You can have a really nice collection by buying the plants that you love and mastering their care to grow nice, big, luscious plants, and have a collection that you can share with other people, with family, friends, and people in the plant community. You can purchase these plants overseas for a cheaper price, just to take the risk. It's not that big of a risk. I've had risks buying plants here in the US. Some plants have arrived dead or in really bad condition. It depends on the seller, to be honest. But if you master the care, or if you learn how to rehab plants, you'll be in a good position no matter what you do. Like I said, you can buy these plants overseas. You can trade plants for the plants that you want. But just to build a collection with the plants that you love, to collect within reason, to collect within your means, to not go outside of your means, and to not fret about your collection not being the coolest, or not making videos or posting on Instagram because you don't think your plants are cool. Your plants are cool as long as you take care of them and you show people how much you love them. That will come across more than just showing, oh, here's my melanochrysum, here's my varicosum. If the plants don't look good, then it's not cool. You can show really nice healthy pothos and it be cool. I have tons of uncommon plants. Here's my asparagus fern. I love this fern. This is probably one of my favorite plants actually in my entire collection. And it's a common plant. It's just a fern. But the way it grows and the fluffiness of it, it just reminds me of being in like an African safari or something. Like, I have tons of plants. If you see in my collection, I have tons of aglaonemas, scindapsus, and the common plants tend to be my favorite. And it's not because, you know, my more uncommon ones are picky. It's just that's what I like. So you don't have to worry about your collection being cool, because as long as it's your collection and you take care of it, it's cool enough. So that's what I have to say about rare and uncommon plants. I hope that one day we can make it so that we're not using rare or just haphazardly, and that people aren't spending the money on these plants that they don't really need to spend, or, you know, have to spend, because really the prices for these plants do need to come back down. That's the whole point of being a community, is to be able to share. And it's so heartbreaking to see these beautiful plants and, you know, wanting to have them, but to see the price and then just know that you can't afford it is just, it's really sad. So I'd like to see more people coming together to get these plants more available to other people, just so that we can all be able to enjoy them and not have to break the bank to do so. So that's my discussion for today. I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you have anything to put to this video, leave in the comments. So have a great day, have a great weekend, stay positive, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.